Oh, Jesus.
Hello. Good time zone, everybody. Oh,
What the-
no.
Sorry, like all of a sudden something came out of
It
my...
wouldn't be a Horde of Tales stream without some technical difficulties, but we are here now.
Right out the gate.
It's going wonderfully. It's going smoothly already. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Horde of Tales. You have found yourself here by choice or by a misrolled teleportation spell. And here on Tuesdays, we play Dungeons and Dragons, but it is not our normal campaign, if you can't tell. Because I am not Marcus, aka the Chindividual. I am the DM you get when you order a Dungeon Master off of Shein.com. It gets the job done, but if you pull up the seams, it's probably going to all fall apart. My name is Austin, or Starcrosser. And today we are playing part one of a little two-shot game that I've put together for everybody. And I hope you all enjoy. But more so than that, I would like to... Is it this way? It's that way. I would like to introduce a few people, a few new faces here to the Horde of Tales YouTube channel. And I'm just going to go in a little circle how I have you all laid out on the overlay. And we'll start with Apollo. Welcome.
Hello. Hi everyone. My name is Apollo. At Polnerd Apollo. I'm a Irish cosplayer and voice actor. And should I say who I'm playing? Should I say?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and give character name,
Yeah.
whatever you want to give away.
Oh my god! And I will be playing a character named Ari Galakis. He is a little rock gnome, and I can't wait for you to meet this little old man that I've concocted.
And it's not the little old man sitting in the corner of your screen, just to clarify.
No, that's my son.
Yes, obviously.
And he's youthful.
Obviously. Looks beautiful. Next we have Jelmer. Welcome.
Sorry, the dummy just gets me. Again.
Oh no, we lost a player.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I am Yummer. All my socials are terrible, so don't search for me anywhere. I just started using Twitter again. I'm a game artist in my off time, and I DM for a few groups for my scouting children, etc., and some friends of myself. And I'm gonna play a it's very. I'm just gonna do it like this. I'm gonna play Mersurge. I'm just already done with it. I can't deal with the world. I'm just gonna sit in my graveyard, watch the corpses, and live with my 7 cats. And if anybody needs my shit, they better pay me. That's basically it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Next we have Chris. Whoa, I'm sorry. I can speak.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, look, speaking is hard. I get it. Hi, I'm Kestrel. I'm Holocompass on the social media platforms. I'm going to be playing a paladin named Callus Rex tonight. She is just here to have a good time, make sure everybody's getting their snack boxes, the juices, making sure that team morale's high. You know, let's go team, let's go team.
Wonderful. And welcoming back a familiar face here, we have Caro.
Yeah, hi peeps. As you might remember, I'm also playing like some of the hot games. You can find me on most socials either under the tag Blaine Unrivaled or just Blaine. And yeah, today I'm gonna play a very, very cute and nice in pink tiefling called Aquila, who is also like a very super cool rogue.
Wonderful, wonderful. And in today's stream, we are playing in a world that I have come up with called Dagrios. And I think we might as well just jump right into that, yeah? Shall we Dungeon and Dragon?
Yeah.
I'd be down.
Alrighty.
Shall we mention that this is a high level, like 2-shot?
Yeah, it is a 2-shot. Everybody is level 14. At and we're gonna have some fun, and I'm definitely not stalling, and I'm definitely about to start DMing right now. Fire over rolling fields of grain, swaying and spreading on the wind. A cold claw grabbing the precious ores a town worked all week to gather. Centuries ago, this is how Bahamut and Tiamat's creations ruled these lands over the smaller species. Metallic dragons ruled with a forgiving and nurturing mindset, but made sure their rule was known and their prices were paid. Chromatic dragons ruled with fear and displays of power, fighting often with the metallic dragons when they would encroach on their territories. Gem dragons felt differently about the smaller species, caring for towns after attacks and using magic to heal and to help them. As time passed, the gem dragons eventually shared their secrets of magic, teaching the smaller species how to harness these powers around them, giving them a means to fight back. Armed with new powers and motivations, the gods they worshipped lent the smaller species their strength and divine magic to even the battlefields, allowing the start of the Dragon Wars. Dethroning the metallic, hunting the chromatic, and sharing peace with the gems, the smaller species took their place among the dragons as equals. Using their newfound power, the smaller species started shaping this land we now know as Yostera to accommodate them. Bahamut and Tiamat still hold their power in the world, but it is no longer their creations to control. Centuries later, between an icy tundra and a harsh desert, sits the rolling hills and towering peaks of Dagrios, the center of the magical battles during the Dragon Wars. It is here that magic is pushed even further these days, and mechanical innovation is beginning to catch up. The city of Marksburg lays home to the governing body of this land, the Three Houses. House Soulstream, practitioners of magic who strive for innovation and discovery of what magic is capable of, and monitoring that power stays in the right hands. House Helioborg, artificers and tinkerers experimenting with mechanical engineering, as well as harnessing magic and enhancing it beyond what Soulstream can accomplish alone. And House Terra, druids and humble folk guarding the nature that they fought so hard to take back from the dragons, and ensuring other houses' mechanical and magical innovations, not the word, don't endanger the land they call home. The land we find ourselves in tonight, and the land that your characters call home. I think I'm going to start. The camera pans into nothingness. And not darkness, not emptiness, but the absence of anything entirely. There is no light, there is no anything around the small little goblin we see falling. More surge. You find yourself in this empty abyss that the only reason you know you're falling is because you get that sinking feeling in your stomach. You don't see anything passing you. You don't feel wind blowing over your face. There's nothing here. Just emptiness. And suddenly that's when it hits you like a brick wall at a really high speed. You hit a brick wall at a really high speed. It doesn't hurt, but you find yourself in front of this strange brick wall and stone beneath your feet now, and you think maybe there's a roof here somewhere, but it's out of sight. What do you do?
I think I'll just start feeling around. I mean, it's not the first time I had it. A moment in darkness when somebody threw something over my mask and I didn't see anything anymore. So I first start to try to feel around if it's not just my own house. Try to feel if I can find anything.
This definitely is not the graveyard. Looking around, everything feels a little bit damp. There's that kind of moisture and humidity in the air. It feels like you're underground, almost like one of the mausoleums in your graveyard.
So I'm just gonna get to the nearest wall and just follow the wall to find something more interesting than the darkness I'm in right now.
Okay, following the wall a little bit, you travel in what seems like just repeating the same patterns over and over again until suddenly you feel this wash of feathers fall on your face. These dark black feathers, they start falling and swirling around you, almost like this small little cyclone you find yourself caught in.
I already know what we're dealing with. It's you again.
Suddenly a clump of these plumes hit you in the face, and when you open your eyes back up through the goggles, they're no longer black feathers. It's this nice pristine line of white feathers and a clawed hand at the end of it, like slowly tapping your head. This is a person you've met a few times. It is a lumen, a sort of dove-like person, a humble folk in these lands. And you look around and realize you're standing outside the front doors of the Cobalt Soul. And this is Nora, and she's kind of cautiously tapping your head. Hello?
Why are you touching my head?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was opening up the library this morning. You were kind of just standing here in front of the door.
Door? Library? What? Did anything really change?
You look around and you're in the center of town.
The most important thing, am I dressed?
Yes, you are dressed.
Okay, thank God. Okay.
If all right, I'm gonna go inside now.
Yeah, I'll be, that's fine. Just do whatever you want. I was just, I remember. Did you need anything?
No, I'm just opening up.
Okay, here you go. I'm just gonna go over there. And I just started walking casually off, like I'm totally meant to be there.
Right. As Morsurge slowly walks away from the situation, you look over your shoulder and you see Nora just unlocking the front doors of the library, inside which we pan the camera over to one of the bookshelves. We see Ari getting an early start to the day.
Yeah, so I'd assume Ari is just kind of like dusting, making sure that everything's in the right order. He's should I describe Ari?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, right. So he's an old man. He's a short king. Two most important things there: old man, short king. You're looking at a older rock gnome. Instead of wrinkles along his face, it looks like cracks in the stone. He balances himself on a very traditional looking kind of like wizard staff. He's wearing a mix of robes, but at the bottom you just see that they're just straight up pants. Like the energy that he's giving is very much, I've been in wizard robes my whole life. I just want a pair of pants. He's
respectable.
The way that he's walking along the halls of this library is like, I have a job to do and I don't have time for this bullshit. He's just making sure that things are in the place where they need to be, and he's very, very present minded.
Wonderful. You are, as you said, just kind of tending around, dusting, making sure everything's in its rightful place. You hear the front doors open, and you see Nora walking in. This, as I described earlier, almost like a dove person.
Good morning, Nora.
Oh, good morning, Master Ari. How are you? How are you doing today?
Well, you know, the years haven't been kind, but we continue, we live, and we learn, and that's what we're here to do, to learn and teach. How are you?
I think they've been very, very kind to you, sir. I'm doing wonderful. I met I never the strange goblin fellow. They hang around here sometimes.
Does he ever come in here to read, or is he just outside?
I believe you're familiar with him. The one with the mask.
Mask.
Yes.
That's Morsurge. Yeah, Morsurge is one of the people of this city that I'm like, I understand you, but also what? You know? Yeah.
Yes.
He's nice. Don't tell him I said this, but he's harmless. He's a lovely guy.
Right. Okay. Well, do you need anything, or I'm just gonna start preparing the front desk for the morning?
No, I think I have this section locked down. Did you have a look at that book I lent you?
Yes, it was marvelous. I believe it
thought you'd enjoy it.
Tales of the Wind.
Yes, lovely. It's one of those. I wish I could read it again for the first time. Anyway, I will not keep you any longer. Be on your way, and if you need me, you know where to find me.
Absolutely, thank you. And as Ari, you go back to tending your bookshelves. Oh my goodness, cats are not happy.
Oh my god, cats!
Sorry about that.
Stay away! Don't eat that! Don't eat that!
Some stray cats in an alley start singing more surge, but where would we find Aquila at a time like this, early in the morning?
Probably in her bed. She's not a morning person, like absolutely not.
So you probably wake up, not necessarily of your own accord, but of a knock at your door.
Go away. Sun is not even up. She doesn't have her eyes open, so she doesn't even know if the sun is up or not.
The sun's been up for quite a while now.
Is it?
Yes, it has.
Why?
Well, that happens every day. It's time to wake up, though. I believe there's a meeting of some of the expositors. You're being called. They said to come fetch you.
Did they? Meeting?
Yes, today there's a. Oh, did you not get your agenda?
Like there's probably like right next to the bed, like this desk full with some kind of paper that she got sometime. Like she's slowly like putting her hand on the desk, rummaging, like shoving some of the paper down so that she can look at it without even getting up. Like, no. There is I don't think so. Directly looking at the paper, which basically said like, "Hey, there's a meeting at this time."
Well, I believe that's why I was sent. If you could do your best, I believe they're waiting for you in one of the main study chambers.
Okay, I'm coming. Can you tell them I'm there in like half an hour?
Certainly, yes. I will let them know if they're not done by then.
Bring them something to drink. People like things to drink.
It is very early in the morning.
I didn't say anything with alcohol.
Right. My misunderstanding. I'll get right on that. And you recognize this voice. This is a. You can't see them, but on the other side of the door, we pan to see this like ivory-skinned, bald, and dark black curled horned tiefling. Their name is Avery. They are just a rank below you within the Cobalt Soul. They usually do some of the martial training and a lot of paperwork and go out on missions on their own, but very, very limited. They don't necessarily have like the freedom that you do. They just like a couple more big knocks on the door. As long as you're waking up, I will go tell them you're on your way.
Like mumbling to herself, like, so, oh, god damn it.
You hear like a couple like footfalls, but you're fairly certain they're just like miming walking away from the door, and they're still just on the other side of it waiting for you. Like listening to make sure you're actually getting out of bed.
I think at that point, since it's like having already a woo conversation, like directly at waking up, is like, yeah, you can't stay in bed anymore because there's no point in falling asleep again. So she's basically getting up, her really long hair, like totally a mess, like hair sticking in every direction. So like slowly getting ready, like as if you watch someone who is basically still half asleep trying to get dressed.
Right.
So, and like when she opens the door and totally expecting like that Avery is still like standing next there looking as if something crashed over her.
Finally ready to go.
I guess.
Right.
You were totally standing the whole time here.
Yes, absolutely. I will. You're not the only one that does this, unfortunately. But I will take you to the chambers. And they start walking off towards one of the main like meeting halls that you have within the Cobalt Soul. And as we see both of you walking away, we pan over to a different section of this city, sort of getting a wide view of Marksburg now, this massive capital city. A almost entire third of it, there's almost this split through the city where the buildings almost entirely stop, and it looks like verdant greens and vines and trees have just overgrown. This is the section of the city monitored by House Terra, and this is where all of the parks and one of the shrines to Melora and the goddess Sehanine reside within this section of the city. And zooming into one of the parks, taking a nice morning stroll, we see Callus. What do we see?
So Callus is a fire genasi. She has her hair in these like tight burnt orange braids all around her head with these little beads in them, so you can just hear like a clicky clacky clicky clacky everywhere she walks around. She's wearing these very basic clothes, like very like black motif going on with just like tunic, trousers, boots, and in either arm she's carrying just these boxes because she's helping with the inventory for some of the local stores that are opening up this morning, just to make sure that they get stocked and ready for the morning. She's like done a couple rounds of like the bakery, the cobblers, whatever have you already, and she's just finishing up with like a herbalist shop that she needs to give some like garlic, cloves, and whatever herbalist stock already. But she wanted to cut through here to just like get a nice view of like the parks because you know there's nothing beats the way that the sunrise just lights up the greenery here.
Yes, and that sunrise, as you might actually know, is amplified magically through one of the blessings of Melora, just giving this beautiful golden glow to the entire district. Even during the nighttime, the moonlight hits everything just perfectly and beautifully, and shadows are never cast in a unflattering manner. And strolling along one of the pathways, just kind of taking in the scenery around you, would you give me a perception check?
Absolutely. I cannot promise you it will be good though, because my wisdom is not the best. Perception. That's a 6 total.
Wonderful. As you're walking through, you are walking through a section of town where, or sorry, a section of the park where there is sort of, they're not like set into bases, but almost seemingly like merging and coming out of the ground are these like statues of different creatures. Off to your left, you see one of a Periton, this eagle-bodied, deer-headed creature. To most would seem scary and intimidating, but the way that it's sculpted here, you can kind of see the majestic nature of it. A little further ways away, you see a griffin, just immaculate details, these like feathers, just almost light and airy, even though they're made out of stone. It's the workmanship in these is incredible. A little bit off in the distance, you see one, a larger one, kind of surrounded by some trees of a sphinx, and just like these miraculous creatures, sort of frozen in time. And off to your right, you pass by a cow, which is a little odd. Just surrounded by these miraculous creatures. There's just one of a cow, but maybe it's nothing. And you continue on your way, heading into the morning shops. Some time passes, and later in the day, you all receive almost simultaneously in front of you, there's a little puff of smoke and almost like a little receipt printer. This little missive pops out from it right in front of all of you, scattered amongst the city wherever you may be. This is not the first time this has happened, but this is a calling of the Eyes of the Three. This is a little missive with a time, a date, and it says you are expected. And that time is in an hour today, in the early evening you are expected to meet in the district that houses the three towers. There is a small sort of central building around, in between, surrounded by the three towers of the three houses. And you all know by now that this is your meeting place. This is where you are expected to be. But all of you receive this little missive. Is it fair to assume everyone shows up to this meeting?
With enthusiasm.
I think I'll just have a 2-for-1 and, take the corpse cart with me because probably somebody died along the way and I just leave it like in front of the door and just a little cloth overhead. Just leave it there. I'll pick it up later. It's fine.
Oh,
Ari definitely like goes, sees the corpse cart and is like, nasty.
You just see one hand like hanging from it.
As you're like setting the cart down, there's like a small little noble child like walking, like kind of.
You want a finger?
No. They like take off.
I was just being nice. Jeez.
It's very thoughtful of you.
I know, right? I usually don't share my corpses. I just put them in the ground and keep that lady in the sky happy, before she starts flapping around again. What are we here for again?
Maybe there's a time and place for these sorts of gifts, as thoughtful as they are.
There was even a ring on it. I mean, come on.
Kids these days don't know how to appreciate a good finger.
We're gonna move on from that before we dwell on that any longer. You all enter the building and are led to this large meeting room. It's sort of it's like a oh, this is gonna go well. Like a pentagonal shape. That's the one. 5-sided. There are at the different opposite from you is like the point of it, and that is where there are 3 chairs. And these people. You've met them a few times. They are the representatives of the 3 houses that meet with you. Representing House Soulstream is a tall, slender, silver-haired elfin man. His name is Loris. He is the only head of his house that comes to these meetings. He is the representative for House Soulstream. Most of the other heads of the houses don't attend these meetings, but rather than sending a representative, he always opted to be here himself. Representing House Helioborg, you see a small blue kobold. You all know this being the artificer known as Stitch. And representing House not House Helioborg. I already said that one. I almost forgot my notes. I'm so sorry. I had the wrong page open. Here we go. Where did it go? I lost the page. Oh no, this is wonderful. There we go. Representing House Terra is a tall elven woman, like long red hair, just this like kind of flower crown that looks like it was just made out of the most pristine like flowers and woods, and somehow still seems like it's thriving even though it's not actually attached to anything. Her name is Lexa, and she is the representative House Terra. They bring you in. You have your seat at the table. And they say, "Well, Terra speaks up first. Well, we have a bit of a strange happenings that we're not even sure is happenings. Actually, I don't know how to explain it, but within one of the parks, the ones with the miraculous statues, there seems to be a growing number of them, and we're not. Us as House Terra, we are not doing anything to facilitate these, and speaking with our representatives here, they also are not responsible. Sir Loris speaks up. Look, we believe something of this nature. We're not sure if it is a prank. We are not sure if it is some kind of magic overtaking these creatures. But so far, we have not been able to deduce the source of it. I sent some of the students of the academy out to investigate this, just as sort of a field exercise. All the good ones are not willing to go partake in these kinds of things, so unfortunately the students didn't really yield any results. And I know normally we reserve the eyes of the three for I don't want to say important matters, because it's not that this isn't important, but we need somebody with...
I'm sorry. There is like this talking about there are strange not happenings, but and like investigating, and it's in the park, and it's like, but what? Like there,
Yes.
what is there that is like that is happening there and shouldn't be happening? It is actually not happening.
Plainly.
Isn't it just like a Banksy situation, you know, like rogue artists just doing like this happening thing? I don't know. I feel like it's a small thing for like us to do. I mean, I have priorities outside, which apparently I need to take care of.
Are the statues being defaced in any way, or what is the matter?
Or did they got taken away?
The representative for House Helioborg speaks up. Look, I will speak very plainly here. There is things being added to the park because there are new statues. There are new statues showing up, and they're not supposed to be there. The old ones are not going away. The old ones are not being messed with. Somebody's just putting new statues in the park, and one of them is slightly grotesque. One of them is like it's like a deal that has like a bite missing out of it. It's not very.
Wasn't me.
Oh.
It's a little concerning because we don't know the source of them.
He might be onto something, Stitch. I was at the park this morning and, well, there was a strange statue of a cow I saw, and could you give me more details, Stitch? Just to make sure that we have everything right.
Certainly, I'm glad to
You gotta take that very seriously, yeah.
I'm not sure why you're all laughing. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know why, yeah.
This is a very serious matter.
My apologies. Hey, everyone, look, I know that it's early in the morning. We're not all, like, mentally here right now, but we've got to get on this, you know?
Such a beautiful voice. I'd never get used to it.
Yes, the voice of an angel. We've discussed this many a time before.
Yep, many a time.
Sorry, there's something in my eye. I can't.
Sorry,
Well-
sorry for my colleagues. Stitch, as you were.
Compose yourselves. There, as I said, there are statues appearing that should not be there. We set up a few people to patrol, just like city guards. We sent out some guards. They are not. They haven't seen anything happening. And the representative of Terra speaks up. Mainly because I don't know if I can keep doing that voice for a very long time. But,
You devious man.
Nice and multi Stitch. I have some right here. Let me point some.
yes, so we too within House Terra have been monitoring this. It seems almost like sometime in the middle of the night there. It happens so quickly. Like, we are watching the entrances to the parks, but nobody's bringing statues in or out, or they're just. We'll pass by a section, and an hour later we pass back by, and there's, as you said, a cow. It's not.
And what is if they are just using this stone of the statues and reshaping it?
Yeah.
That's kind of like, I have no clue about magic, but I think that's easy.
Yeah, like an art installation, like a moving piece.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the number of statues hasn't decreased at all. In fact, we can still account for all the ones that were there before. It's just that strange new ones have started to appear.
Yes, the old ones, as I said, are intact. None of them are defaced. They are all accounted for. There's just more now.
And is it a bad thing that there are now more in the park?
It's like a motif thing, right? They had like these wonderful, majestic creatures, and now there's a cow there. And
I think some people say that the cow is very majestic.
Yeah.
Now, look,
I don't see any problem with the cow.
to each their own.
I for one, I mean, cows are beautiful, marvelous creatures. There's many of them. They come in different colors and lengths of hair and horn varieties. They're all beautiful creatures, but it's not necessarily an aesthetics thing. If somebody wanted a cow there, that's fine. But as my compatriot Stitch so eloquently stated earlier, some of them are like, there is a deer with a chunk of its side missing, as if some creature took a bite out of it. There's a little ways off the pathway. There's a wolf without a head. Like, there are some. If it was just like a cow, it wouldn't be a problem. And if we could figure out the source, you four would not be called here.
Might I ask, in your investigations, did you account for, well, firstly, are the statues that are there of creatures that were already in the park? Or are the statues of creatures that were not in the park?
How big is the park?
Well, the area, the specific park that this is happening in, it seems like a fairly contained area. It's
Okay.
not terribly large. It's not happening across all of the Evergreen. Evergreen being that like third of the town that is overrun with like verdant wildlife.
Understood. And
they to answer your other question,
regards-
they are other. Some of them are creatures that roam within the Evergreen. Some are. They're not Like the cow. We don't have cows there.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Like the wolf I could understand, but there's not cows
Is a
there.
wolf without a head even a wolf, or could it be a dog?
Judging by the size, it would be quite a large dog.
Maybe it's an artistic interpretation.
And in investigating, has anybody made account for the invisibility, the works being moved under cover of invisibility?
Well, that's sort of why we are bringing you all in. We
Okay.
our extent of investigation has been setting up guards to kind of patrol, or some members of the shrine to Lady Melora are sort of walking through the park every now and then just to check in and see, and so far we haven't been able to find anything. I'm not really sure.
That is all right.
Okay. Well, if you'd like us to investigate it, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. This doesn't seem like the most high-stakes thing, so hey, maybe this will be a fairly easy little mission, everyone.
The
Are
building
we, a little
exercise?
bit are we a little bit overpaid for this?
Are we getting paid for this?
Sir Loris of House Soulstream perks up. He says, well, it is dependent on what is actually required of you. We are willing to pay a reasonable fee and sort of a normally agreed upon contract of, we ask you to do a task. Depending on the number of days that takes, you will be paid accordingly. I will say, however, as somebody who has lived as long as I have and has seen as much strange magic as I have, sometimes the most mundane things can be the most dangerous. So just keep your wits about you. If this does turn out to be something larger, we are more than willing to accommodate you and pay you fairly and continue the well-established relationship we've had so far.
Sounds good to me.
Any conditions that you want to have fulfilled, like getting the culprit here nice and alive and tied up, and like a nice little gift, or
Do you want to keep the statues?
Maybe the ones that aren't in, as they said, grotesque.
Oh yeah, I'm just specifically talking about those. I'll take those off your hands as payment. It's fine.
You're more than welcome to have them. But as far as conditions, just look. We kind of you're able to have free reign to see to any of the missions we give you, however you wish. But the only thing we ask of you is to find out why they're happening, and if you think it is within your capabilities to stop that from happening further, to do so, however you wish.
Understood.
Yep.
You said these were appearing at night, correct?
That's usually when we notice them, yes. We haven't seen any show up during the middle of the day.
Oh, that's why you arranged that meeting so late.
Yes, we were hoping, you could leave this evening, and if you're all available to go maybe investigate it immediately.
Right on over.
Yeah,
Right.
I just thought the meeting was late because Aquila here never wakes up on time.
Hey, listen, I always need to work in the fucking middle of the night.
Yeah, same.
Now, everyone. Now. We'll get this handled for you. and we can argue on our way there, everyone.
My
Right.
favorite pastime.
This is wonderful news for everybody involved. I have some mechanics to get back to if you all do not mind. Feel free to, when this is done, speak with your contacts at the Cobalt Soul, and they will get in contact with us, or come knocking on the door, or whatever you need to do, whatever's
As
easiest
always,
for you.
You've been a brilliant help, Stitch. Thank you.
Yes.
Of course, of course.
Stitch. Thank you.
You're always welcome. It's nice to show your faces again.
Think about it. You almost got me there.
Maybe eventually.
Never.
Fair. I don't want to cry.
I ship them.
They all
Slow burn enemies to lovers, romancing and cultivating.
It's the Cobalt.
the kobold. They all stand up from their chairs. Respectfully. Some bow, some maybe a little bit of a nod. And they step away.
Mustard, you're sure your mask is sitting right? Because either you got like a breathing problem, or I don't know.
Sorry. Sometimes just a little bit crooked, and the tea that they just gave, I have to get my straw in there, and it was just.
Oh yeah, understandable.
Yeah,
Honestly,
mask for mask problems.
Right. Well,
y'all got jokes today.
you all
I came prepared.
You all leave the meeting place. Is there anything you all need to take care of before you head into the Evergreens, or?
I don't think this is a roleplay thing. I think that I will definitely stop by the library to guess whatever material components I would need for the standard divinatory kind of identify, detect magic, all those sort of spells. I'm gonna make a little kit, and I'll be right.
Yeah, absolutely. You have at your disposal whatever materials you might need.
Anything that I need just for magical detection purposes.
Yeah, anything you have prepared, you definitely have access to those resources for sure. Man, if this was not a stream on a little bit of a schedule, I would love to introduce you to another favorite NPC of mine, but maybe another day. Specifically, just to give you all a little bit of a idea of who that would be. The person who runs the magic shop in town, his name is Corgo, and he is a wizard corgi. He is usually who provides any kind of magical accoutrement or materials to the different people within the Cobalt Soul who need it. That is your contact to go to.
Oh my god, there's so many to meet him.
But unfortunately, I don't think we have time to do that. But we can say you make a brief stop by Corgo's, and
I definitely bring him some treats. I'm
oh,
there you
absolutely.
go,
buddy. He's one of those that's are you trying to believe? No, I'm kidding. Give them here.
You can't do this to me. It's yeah, we are not going there, but he is like a corgi. It's oh my god, I want to cuddle them so much. Oh my god.
You should totally send the description, because now I want to draw him.
Well, hey, who knows what's going to happen in the park? Maybe you guys need to go take a visit. But for now, as we are heading on our way to the park, into the Evergreen of Marksburg, we are going to take our first break of the night. Just a little bit of a 5 minutes or so, everybody, so they can stretch their legs, rest their character voices, get something to drink, and go make a little stop by Korgos. We'll be back like whatever the hour 08 or so is for everybody. We will see you all soon. Be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Back into the land of Dagrios and back in with the eyes of the three, my lovely player characters here, as they move their way towards the Evergreen of Marksburg. Traversing through the large city streets, by the time you actually start stepping on grass instead of stones, it is dusk at this point. The sun has set behind the mountains, and just sort of the idea of daylight is starting to fade. And the moon tonight is a full moon shining ever brightly, as it seems to do every night here in the Evergreen. Casting these shadows along and your party walking through these nicely trodden dirt paths, you reach the park I somehow forgot to give a name to. But you reach the park in which these strange occurrences are happening, and there's like this small little gate with a like a perched wolf at either side of it, kind of marking the entrance to this park. What are you all doing?
I feel like, are there any guards around?
There is like one guard at the entrance, just like sort of like chainmail clad, wearing the banner like over one shoulder, with the emblem of Dagrios on, just sort of like standing there. Your group is not I will get to what is in chat in a second, because I forgot to explain that, because I didn't realize it was going to come into play. But your group is somewhat well known within this region, especially to the people who would need to know who you are. You hold some recognition. So like as you approach the park at night, which is open all hours of the night, the guard does look to you all like a little alarmed at first, but kind of giving you all a nod, recognizing your little motley crew walking in.
I'd like to, if possible, I'd like to walk up to him, and Ari is dressed in like old man cardigan and a coat, with a staff and a little bag, just with all his magical stuff. I like to go up to the man and say, to the guard, and say, "Hello, young soldier. I would like to know where the unusual statues are, which was the most recent occurrence, and where there is a space that has been untainted by these magical mishaps."
And did they place you alone here? Because they said like the gates are guarded, but you're alone.
Yeah, this isn't.
Or do you have an invisible friend?
Well, I'm just. I mean, there's one of us at every gate. Like, should I not be? Am I? Is it? Is this dangerous? I just thought there was like.
No, you're fine. They're just.
You're doing great. You're wonderful.
I give him a little like sour sweet, sour candy.
Oh Lord.
You're fine. Just take a seat, young man.
Right, you want the recent one first, or the? You said
Yes,
a lot.
Most recent one first.
Right. Okay, but if I walk away from the gate won't be.
You can just tell us where we can find it, you know?
You could just point the way, you know, somewhere over there.
I wasn't worried, but now I am. Okay. If you just follow the pathway, there's like a really big tree that's like split into like two other trees. Like around there was like a deer. I think that, I mean, unless another one has shown up, that was the most recent one we saw.
Perfect.
Right.
Take a chair. I start walking.
Young man,
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
It's better now.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it was just I just didn't catch
Okay,
it.
so I said, okay, sure, and I just start walking.
Right, yeah, the mic placement was good. But yes, as you all start
before I
walking
walk
by,
in, I just kind of like say, "Young man, stay in school."
right.
I don't and end up like me at the graveyard.
The world is wide and dangerous.
Like,
Filled with
not
death.
exactly here, but like outside of the town, so you know.
Don't
Right,
listen to them. Just go to school.
So to explain a few things, I don't have it set up on OBS to like have a little cat pop up in your little thing, but here in Horde of Tales we do have a thing called Cat Vantage. So if a cat appears on the screen, people can redeem channel points to give you advantage on a roll that you choose to use. Ida was so nice to grant more surge with a dose of advantage, so keep that in mind. You have a extra d20 to roll whenever you choose to. Ida was also kind enough to redeem another little channel point thing here. So we're gonna just ignore that other one. No, so as you are all walking away, you hear this guard try to like calm himself down, and he's just everything is fine.
I turn to Callus and I just say, "Is that child beatboxing?"
I thought it was some sort of like self-soothing therapeutic noise making.
Is that what the kids are is that what the kids are doing these days?
It's some kind of music I propose.
That's what we're calling music. Okay.
Yeah.
Perpetually grumpy old man.
I just prefer cello or, you know, organ.
Yeah.
As you all... Wait, there's another one. Where are those? Ida, why did you have so many points accrued? I don't even know where those are.
Because she is watching a lot, I guess.
At that point, I'm just going to start get a cat just to get more advantage. If my cat will grant me advantage, that's a really good sales pitch.
My cat's here all the time, so
Commit Twitch tax fraud with cats.
I've somehow
You know, this is kind of weird when you have like three people of like, yes, this is a young people thinking probably my character is the youngest one in the group. Like, yeah, okay, I'm here.
I'm not gonna disclose my age.
Okay, so I don't know where the normal cat ears are, but there you go. Thanks, Ida. I appreciate it.
Oh my god, yes.
We have fun here. So
You sound so convincing.
now I forgot what was even happening. Okay, you all have entered the park. Everything's running smoothly. Well-oiled machine. You enter the park and passing down. This is wonderful. Winding through the pathway, you eventually spot like this. You don't need to make any perception check to see this gigantic tree about like 40 feet off the pathway that is just a giant trunk that splits almost like symmetrically into two other large branches that even from this distance you can see at the base of it this small like stone. making your way over there, you see that there is this male deer with these large antlers made out of stone. One of the points broken off, and this like gash mark out of its neck. Almost as if like if this was a real deer, like it looks like it's been in a fight recently. Yes, I have multiple cat ears. Don't. I ordered 2 and one of them never showed up, and then they did. Anyway, if it was not a statue, it looked like it had recently been in a fight.
Right. Is there anything anyone else would like to do before I start pulling out the magic on this little dude?
I wanna knock at the statue.
You, like, knock on it?
Like knock. Like checking if it's like stone. If there's anything like if there's air in there or anything, if it sounds like as if it's not completely stone.
Right. I mean, knocking on it, it doesn't echo, it doesn't seem hollow, it seems solid stone.
I'm just gonna stand beside Aristocles. I feel like I'm trying to pronounce a Greek philosopher's name every time I look at your character. Just sort of like, do I have the thing I want actually? I don't. Just sort of like give you like an encouraging like presence around you. It's like, hey, you've got this. You know, you've done this 1,000 times before. Here's the 1,001st time.
Thank you. A little sour candy.
Oh, thank you.
Just an infinite supply of them.
Sour candies and Werther's Originals.
Absolutely.
I mean, I just put my hands on his shoulder because I think I can reach that somewhere, right? I probably can reach that. I'm not you're not that tall. And I said, "You can, buddy. You can do. You have way better sight than I do." And I just cast guidance on him.
Oh my god! Right. I would like to cast. See, as written, neither identifier or detect magic would work in the way that I want it to, but I would like to use identify to just sort of the information that I want to possibly guess are. Was there a magical effect? I just want to see if there's anything that's to me reading as this was brought here, this was alive once, and then it got turned to stone by the thing that attacked it, or was this just put here, teleported here? I just want to get any sort of magical read that I can on the statue.
Okay, reading rules of identify.
I can read the spell if you want.
I've got it up. So Ari reaches out and places his hand on this stone, and you know stone. This feels like natural stone. It's slightly rough, but you think that's actually because like it's so detailed stone. There's almost like the fur texture of the deer on it. It's nice, and what does it look like when Ari casts identify? What is that like?
As he's a rock gnome, when Ari reaches out, it's sort of like Ari understands magic as something that is woven into the very nature of everything. He is when he started his studies in wizardry, it was a very traditional of this is the weave of magic sort of school of teaching. So when he reaches out and touches this statue, it's almost like he's just barely touching a spider's web, where there are a couple ripples of magic that go around it, and there's just sort of like a couple pulsating ripples go out from the hand to the stone and just come back to the hand. It's like a signal is being broadcast to this object and then returned to him, hopefully picking up whatever magical remnants are here.
Wonderful. You reach out and there's this glow from Ari's hands, almost as like a wave crashing against the embankment and washing back up. And as it does, you learn any magical natures affecting this object. You identify this as a creature. It is a deer. There is currently the magical effect of petrification.
Okay. Could I push this in some way to see if I could get information of like, was this moved here or did it happen like, or like how long ago this was, just to get some idea of time?
I don't think identify would give you that. I think that would be a more practical investigation.
Okay. That's fair. Could I do, is there any role you want me to could I make any role to like just get a feel of like how long this has been here, or actually with petrification, having identified the petrification, could I do a sort of role to feel of like, oh, this is something that is going to wear off naturally, or is it the petrification that will stay unless X condition is met?
You would know until either restored through magic or whatever means of curing petrification. This is a semi-permanent petrification.
Okay.
Unless means are taken to reverse this, it will stay.
Right. I just communicate that to the group.
Yeah, it to actually see like how long this has been, like was it moved, things like that. That would just be like a standard investigation.
Yeah, okay. I pass that on and I just say, that's as much as my magic is giving me. I fear we might be dealing with something. And I look at like the gash mark, and is this the same statue that had like its side that just kind of like taken out of it?
No. This is a different one. This is a different one.
Yeah,
this one
okay.
just has like a gash kind of like running down its neck, and like one of the points of the antlers is broken off.
I just communicate and I tell the group, I fear we might be dealing with a beast that can petrify its prey. I can tell the magic. If any of you are more well versed in the nature side of things, please, I welcome your eyes on this.
So what can petrify things? Basilisks, medusas?
It's gargants, I believe.
What?
It's gargants, right? Not medusas.
Yeah, the Gorgons, Medusa, the most famous of the Gorgons, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
you have potions which can petrify you too. I mean, I've had to bury some petrified people once. It was like it's so much.
But the thing is, like, they said that there are also statues around here that are looking more horrible, attacked, headless, like this one. So I don't know. I don't think like a Gorgon or a Basilisk can do this.
Also, it's pretty weird that you would petrify already like dead things. I mean,
I don't know. I'm not king shaming here.
I'm not king shaming either. Don't start about me.
Why are we assuming it's a king thing?
I adore death, but
Okay.
that's not the point here.
I feel like we've got on a lost track.
100%.
No, we're still talking about death, petrified things.
While everyone is
Rock
talking about
hard.
things, Callus will inspect one of the statues that Aristocles has looked over. I specifically want to look over like where they've been attacked, or where these like strange like wounds have appeared. And if possible, I'd like to do like a survival check. I'll even make it like an investigation check, just worse at that, to see if I can tell what the like specific nature of this wound came from. If it was like actually like it was teeth, it was claw marks, and if like there is any similar tracks in the surrounding landscape, like on the grass or on the ground, prints left, that sort of stuff.
I would offer you either your choice: survival, investigation, or nature.
I'm gonna go for survival because that's my best one.
Alrighty.
Let's see. Yeah. Don't hope for big things because I do not roll well.
Come on.
That was cocked. It's looking more like a 7 than a 15. So that would be 12.
Okay, that's not bad. This part of the park in particular is not very well traversed. There's not like a path that runs through here. So it's pretty easy to pick up that there are some tracks in the ground. There are some like smaller creatures. There are deer tracks leading up to the statue, which, given the context, you assume is probably this creature's. There are some. You're not even sure if they're tracks, but like a little ways off, probably about like 10 or 15 feet from this statue, behind it, there are, like, where the dirt is wet in, like, has been pressed in the mud, there are some really deep and heavy set holes in the ground that almost look like the pattern of tracks, but you're not familiar with anything that makes tracks like this.
Callus, you see like Callus like kneels down with like a stoic look in her eyes, like just trying to investigate, grabs like a handful of this pressed in mud, sniffs it, and then takes like a bite out of it. Yeah, something was here.
Did you find tracks?
Yes, there were these, and I'll just like explain what I found. Like, yeah.
And why do you eat earth?
Well, you see, when you're looking for creatures or for game, you have to get in their head, right? What better way to get
it's
in
a
their
mind
head?
thing.
Yeah. What better way to get in their head if than to taste them?
I don't kink shame.
Why does this keep getting back to that?
Yes, I don't understand. This is a totally normal thing to do when you're looking for prey. Anyway.
Okay, show me. Where did you find the tracks?
Not
Maybe
like
I can help.
Where I've seen like these going off to. I'm just like,
Okay,
yeah.
I want to investigate.
Go for it. Roll.
Can I help out? Could I do the help action?
Yeah,
I can
absolutely.
guidance anyone who needs it.
Sure, you can help in either both of you roll investigation, or Aquila can roll with advantage. And if More Search wants to guide, you can roll with guidance as well.
How about you give Aquila guidance and I'll also roll?
Fine for me.
Sorry. Bye.
All right.
How much
Roll
is
those dice.
guidance?
It's a D4.
Okay, cool.
Hey.
Hey.
And a D4.
What's the
that's
roll?
one from-
Apollo.
That's a nat 20.
No,
I almost cried. I was like, a nat 20. With a nat 20 for a total of 30.
Oh,
Jesus.
What's Aquila's total?
I got the same number. Not with a net 20, you know. But that was the guidance.
Wonderful.
just
Excellent and qualified.
This is about to be a one-shot.
I would like,
Yes.
I would like to bring attention to the Dungeon Master Guide for Dungeons & Dragons states a 30 for any kind of ability check is like an impossible feat of either power or skill that in normal circumstances would not be possible. Setting something at like a challenge rating 30 is basically saying you would need a miracle to make this work, and you both just rolled a 30, and that's awesome.
I think it's like I'm knelt down next to
You
Aquila
know,
and we're
when
just like
you-
comparing notes.
Yeah, I mean, if you have expertise in the skill, then
The text starts like coming off the page for some reason. They just like see it all surrounded.
You both kneel down and you both have this like beautiful minds moment of like all these equations rattling off around you, and I think actually like even around Ari's head you see these like little glyphs start to float around just kind of absent-mindedly.
Big bald head.
And I mean, I don't know, like, except to just solve the puzzle for you. Like, what do I even give you for a 30? You win Dungeons and Dragons, I guess.
But you can't win Dungeons and Dragons.
You can in this world. No. So you definitely spot that these are definitely tracks left by quite a large creature. Given the positioning and the stride it seems to be taking for what you make out to be like more than 4 legs. Whatever this creature is has many legs, like at least 6 legs. It is in a pattern that seems to be chasing this creature. It got about 15 or 20 feet away from it. It stopped. It turned around and went back into the woods.
Curious.
What has 6 legs and can petrify stuff?
I know this joke.
The classic.
Is it a dog?
Can I think back to the history of me burying things, everything? If anything like this has happened before or anything?
Long history.
Definitely not regularly. There have been certain adventurers who have brought back some of their companions to be buried who were petrified. They spoke of, as stated previously, there were some that were gorgons. There were some petrified by a basilisk. There were some petrified by a trap that like released this mist and it petrified them. In some of these adventures that were brought back, you would know, being a cleric of the Raven Queen, that just because something is petrified does not mean that its life has ended. There is a way to bring it back, that this may not be this creature's time. So if that is what they have chosen, the path they have chosen to pursue, there are ways of restoring oneself. If the Raven Queen deems that this creature's time on this plane is not over. So sometimes they were not buried, sometimes they were restored. But I mean, there's options. There's certainly a few things that could do this. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but not within the city, not under normal circumstances.
So yeah, I haven't seen anything like this specifically. I mean, stuff happens, everybody dies in weird ways, but like specifically like this, it's pretty curious.
If my memory serves me correctly, basilisks have 8 legs, so could be perhaps a younger one, not yet fully grasping its abilities.
But you're saying they're having 8 legs, and this is like not 8-legged.
I will say,
how high are the chances that the basilisk is suddenly losing 2 legs?
Because you got 30. I will give you that the pattern was sporadic. There was at least 6. Thinking with what Ari is telling you, it could be 8. That you weren't sure what you were working with, so like the pattern seemed weird and sporadic. But thinking of a creature that might have 8 legs, it could work with these movement patterns. It could work.
Could be.
I mean, in the end, it could have 6 legs. It could have 8 legs, maybe 10 legs. I haven't slept on I have slept on the time when this came up in class.
I was teaching the class. Yeah, you were. It's okay.
Good that
It's
you
okay.
remember.
Of course I remember.
He remembers all. He also remembers me never attending.
Those were days.
Yes.
Creature like this likely would be either deep in the forest or retreating to some kind of cave.
I mean, yes, you said the tracks are going back to the forest, right?
Yes.
And you ate dirt. So 1 and 1, I get that we need to go to the forest.
What we probably should do will at least alert one of the guards that we're going to go deeper in, tell them what we found out about, just in case something goes wrong on our end. There's going to be some backup to either help us or clean up what we couldn't finish. Sound good?
Fine with me. I mean, it's below their pay grade, and that one over there didn't really look like he will remember anything.
What do you mean with like clean after us?
Well, sometimes when an adventurer fights something a little bit too strong.
No. We are not talking this.
Oh,
we are not jinxing this.
Okay.
No. And I'm there, so I'll be fine. But besides all of this, there's just one thing I have to point out, which is pretty curious to me. Why would this creature get into a area which is like a city with a lot of people to petrify things here instead of, staying in the forest where there's nobody to bother it and it can just eat the shit? Why are these animals spawning, quote unquote, here in the city?
Artistic installation?
You're just using my words against me. You get my point. But I mean, I'm all fine by an artistic gorgon or an artistic basilisk. I would even commission them for beautiful ornaments in the graveyard. But it's still curious that the thing on its own would do that. So maybe it is not alone, and somebody evil is doing something and leading this creature to do stuff.
That is certainly a possibility.
It's
We will keep that in mind for certain.
I just want to keep it in mind that it is just a bit peculiar. So maybe the thing is not acting alone. So we should watch out.
If it is a basilisk, I would advise everyone, be careful where you look.
No, really.
Okay. Callus is gonna go off and find a nearby guard stationed in the park and just be to explain what it is that we have found.
right. You're not too far from the entrance you came in. Probably like a minute walk away, 2 minutes. It's easy enough for you to go back there to the gate. As you turn around the corner to the gate, you don't see the guard.
Wish I'd gotten their name beforehand. Hello, guard that was stationed here before. Come to speak with you about important matters.
Are
Marco.
you going through the gate?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye out.
Give me a perception check.
Uh-oh. I'm good at 3 things. Wisdom things are not one of them. That's a 4.
Okay. You're kind of walking around. You kind of there's these hedges about head height, that butt up to the little entrance gate. You kind of peek around either side of them back out to the main road in the Evergreen. You don't see any guard. There's nobody stationed here. And you as you turn around to go back down the pathway, you kind of trip and hit something with your foot. It's just like a rock sticking out of the head.
Yeah, I'll look down to what I just tripped at, get a better look at it in the night light.
Yeah, there's like this weird, like long rock, like kind of stuck in the bush. Almost like an arm.
Callus putting the pieces together in her head. I'll like fish it out. Like I'll try to like pull it out of the thrush and like get it to stand, just to confirm like my own suspicion.
You like reach down to pull it, and it is an arm, but that's all that's there.
Oh,
Interesting. How far away are you?
It is. There is like a little metal pauldron on it, in what looks like a stone version of the little half cloak that they had over their arm, broken off. It's easy enough to assume this is the guard you're looking for.
Nasty.
Like I'll start heading back with the arm, and as I'm doing so, could I just get a look at like where it is detached from the rest of the body to see if it was if it's like broken off from a statue kind of look, or if it was like ripped off before being
My medicine is +8.
I'll think about it real hard, and then I'll get like more tests to look at it.
Corpse expert.
Bringing the arm back to your group. You don't encounter anything on your way back. You're more than welcome to show it to more Surge and have them
yeah.
look it over.
I come bearing a gift of sorts.
I just snag it. Curious. This seems to be, and I just point at the pauldron. This is pretty familiar. I mean, can I try to look at the end where it's broken off and determine if it's like bitten off or it's broken off in the like a stony way?
Yes, you could either, given the nature of it, I would say investigation or medicine.
Yeah, I would do medicine.
Oh no, this isn't. I hope it's not the arm from this cute guard.
Look, does he have a sour candy in his hand?
You look down.
I look at the fingers.
There's a small little semicircle of a lozenge stuck in its palm. It's also stone now.
Tiny stone tear, tiny crystal tear.
Yeah, go ahead and give me that.
It was a 12, by the way.
12.
I rolled a 2.
Wonderful. I love the +10.
Sorry. 4. My bad.
14?
No, I rolled a 4 and plus 8.
Okay.
So sorry.
+8, yeah. I would say even with that, it's easy enough to. Yeah, you also have a cat advantage if you wanted to use it on this to roll at advantage.
Do you need help? I have a +10 on investigation.
I will say
I rolled again. I rolled a 19,
Okay.
so 27.
Perfect, wonderful.
A humble 27.
You can see that, like, I don't know how to describe this accurately, but you gather that this arm was torn off mid-petrification. Like, there are aspects of, like, as you look at, like, the base where the shoulder is, you can see, like, the shoulder bone there. Like, you can't make out, like, details of the muscle within, but, like, there is definitely, it was detached before fully turned to stone.
This is an art piece. I don't know if I should bury this at all or just display it.
I'm pretty sure it's an arm of a person that might not be dead.
But look at it. Look at how it starts from flesh and it just slowly turns into this broccoli stone texture as it goes on in a swooshing manner. It is so artistic.
I'm gonna take the arm back. Just
No.
okay. Well, that's all yours.
Don't. I need to bury this anyhow, so I'll keep.
Okay.
You mean it's
Okay.
my job?
Just
You can add a petrified arm to your inventory if you wish.
I will.
Didn't you just say that you're not sure if you should bury it in or not?
I mean, it is my job, but if nobody check, that's not true. It's fine. We're not discussing this right now. Let's get back to business.
right.
So the guard got eaten, or it ripped off its arm, only petrified arm. But I don't think an arm has eyes, so I think we're pretty sure he's dead. Which makes my job even harder. Now I need to find the rest. Anyways, that's problematic.
That the arm is petrified, or this
No,
person
that's
is
not
might
going
be
to
dead?
stand, obviously. The arm is art based, the arm is fine. The rest is a problem. The part that it's attached to.
Okay, and so let me put this together.
We can't. We don't have all
Let
the-
me speak here for fuck's sake.
Sorry.
So
Don't worry.
we found out that these statues around here that newly appeared are petrified creatures.
Mhm.
So we came here, the god was alive, we found the steer petrified, we found out like, yeah, it could be basilisk, it could be whatever that can petrify stuff. And looking back to the guard, he is like this. So that means probably that Quitinas was here, ran through that way that we came through. Maybe, I don't know. Could be invincible, I guess. And yeah, since we didn't saw it and the guard is gone, might be gone as well.
Hmm.
I can track tracks.
Can you track corpse?
If it was like maybe
Maybe we
if
should.
if it got carried, but it might be a bit more difficult. But at least as long as there are footsteps, you know.
Oh,
Or, there you go.
sorry. I can show you where I found the arm, and if there are any tracks that I missed, we
Or
can.
other parts which are laying around.
Let's see if there are any other parts. I only saw the arm. Can't speak for the rest of this poor guard. But if we hurry, we might be able to locate where it might have scampered off to, since this was already very recent.
Is there anything that I could do in the sense of like using detect magic to see if I could cast it in such a way that I could see like a magical trail to see if there's anything that we could follow there? See if I could zone in on where on a track.
So you all like move back to like the gate where this was found, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I like got you all in the right place. So
Even though that's totally fine.
no, I love that. So I would say casting. You said detect magic.
Yeah, or any sort of even just like an Arcana check just to see if I can tell it any lingering direction.
No, I'll give you detect magic for that for sure. I like that
But,
kind of thing.
I just want to mention that I have a passive investigation of 25. So
Actually, let Akila go first. Let Akila go
I see shit. But I'm
Level
not
14
really looking.
characters, totally not broken.
Let Akila go
So,
first. I'm
You're
vibing.
not doing detect magic then.
Not yet.
Okay. We'll hold on to that for now.
Save your spell slots.
Yeah, I'll
But
point
I will
out
say-
too that I found the arm.
Yeah, I love the idea of like kind of repurposing spells like that. That definitely fits within this kind of universe of like kind of pushing magic beyond what is like normally capable. So feel free to throw ideas like that out there. I'm totally open to them.
Sorry.
Yeah, so going in like where the arm was pulled out of the bush, there is definitely, I mean, you don't even have to roll for this, Aquila. You just kind of look at it and see there is fresh red spots on the ground where this arm was. there is similar tracks to what you found before, a little bit more recent, leading off deeper into the woods. And this splatter of blood, but like there's not a trail of blood, there is not any other body parts. There is the splatter, the arm that was there, and tracks leading away.
So 100% this goes into the woods.
I follow.
I might add that I'm not good in the woods.
I think that's good.
No, I'm a wizard.
I'll keep follow behind. I'll watch everyone's like rear to make sure nothing sneaks up behind us. But
I'll just take this. It might come in handy, and I just put it like somewhere between my coat on.
Nice.
Full
Wonderful.
arm.
So, following these tracks back into the woods, the four of you cross this like tree line into a maneuverable but denser part of the park that is intentionally overgrown a little bit. You're moving slowly, but you're still able to keep track of these freshly made tracks in the ground, following them back towards the center of the park. And you continue on for about 5 to 10 minutes. It's not terribly long before you start to see this break in the park, in this clearing. And it occurs to Surge more than anyone else where you actually are. You are not too far away from the heart tree within the evergreen, this massive, like, unimaginably and unnaturally massive tree that has been a shrine dedicated to the goddesses Melora and Sehanine, respectively. And this opening in this clearing is actually a back way entrance into a graveyard that is there. And it is not necessarily the graveyard that Surge spends his time at, but it's definitely one you're familiar with. And you find yourself breaking through the clearing and seeing the tracks move into the graveyard.
Do we hear anything like creatures moving around, or is this basically Death's Island around us?
Directly around you, I mean, there is like small creatures in the trees behind you.
Okay.
There are some like nocturnal birds, like owls and predatory creatures like that, but nothing larger than like a large bird or a squirrel or something. And all of that is above you, that you don't hear anything around you in the woods directly. But if you wish to, that you can go in this graveyard and you can still keep track, though the tracks seem to get less dense, as if it stopped running. Like it's just sort of walking cautiously through this open field now.
As I walk through the graveyard, can I keep out an eye on everything that doesn't, look like a typical gravestone, other things that might be petrified?
Yeah, absolutely. What is everyone's passive perception?
10.
11.
It is 13, but I would say that might be a bit lower.
19.
Yeah, for the sake of brevity, I will say it is easy enough for you all to keep an eye out and notice within this graveyard continuing along the pathway or along the tracks immediately, nothing sticks out to you as like another petrified creature or person. It seems to be winding its way through different gravestones and burial sites, leading to almost to the direct center of this graveyard, this large mausoleum. This like it seems to be the oldest structure here, like enclosed burial site, with like a heavy stone door that seems to be ajar.
Oh, beautiful.
I will say right outside of that door, like Aquila with your passive perception would notice, there is a small squirrel that is like peeking into the door, but made of stone.
I guess that what we're looking for is in there.
How would you figure? My
I don't
passive
know,
perception.
intuition. There's a stone scroll sitting. I
Oh,
don't
is
know.
it-
It's just like that just came to my mind, you know.
I didn't see any squirrels that you're pointing it out right now. Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing a mask, just saying, like, I don't see very much.
Understandable. I mean, yeah.
Can I quietly just, when we just start moving, I want to catch the squirrel statue.
Is it gonna like touch it, or
No, I want to take it with me.
are you gonna take it with you? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I want to do it like nobody's seeing it.
You're gonna have
make
to
a
film
I
sleight
don't want to be judged, you know.
make,
I don't want to
If
be
we would
judged.
judge
make,
you.
make me a sleight of hand.
I will judge you quietly if I
I'm
see
gonna
this.
do a perception or just to see this happen. Okay.
Sure. It was a
Choosing
net
not to see
20
this.
plus 7.
I don't see
Wow.
it. What do you roll the nat 20 for this?
I told you guys in advance, I already rolled that 20. It's a stupid shit. And you know, my search is very, very, he doesn't want people to know he loves cute little animals.
I'm here
Aw.
for it. You would like walk by the door, like kind of just anyone else just sees you walk by, kind of look in, and like take a few steps back. The squirrel is gone. It is.
No, I'm not looking into this. This is like scary shit.
It's fair.
I kind of look at the crowd and I'm like, okay, so who wants to go in first? I'm
Not
not
me.
doing it.
Everyone stand back.
Yeah, I go
This.
first. Not me.
Stand close behind me. Okay,
Come on,
single
Paladin.
file. I'll let you all know what's happening in there. I will like.
If you want, I can use the light cantrip to.
Yes.
I don't mind following you in.
Yeah, I kind of like stand by the door. Can I? No, I can. Yeah. I stand by the door. I extend my wizard staff, and I just make the light cantrip happen from the like end of my staff, so that hopefully it goes in through the cracking of the mausoleum. So for like bright light in a 20-foot radius, and another bright light 20 feet in, and another 20 feet of dim light if it's not far enough.
Wonderful. I mean, you can certainly stand like 20 to 30 feet back and like light up at least the entryway and partially in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, when I say it's cracked open, I mean like it's very obviously a door that can move but usually doesn't, and it is open wide enough for you all to like you could easily walk in without having to like squeeze your way in there. It is
fine.
ajar rather than cracked open. I misspoke, but it's not like fully widely open, like welcoming people into this mausoleum, but the door is definitely open. So it's easy enough to like light your way into it. And as that bright light as that bright light extends from your staff, it illuminates the entrance of this mausoleum. Looking into it, it is very. Everything is covered into this thick layer of dust. It doesn't look like anybody has been in here for a very long time, aside from a small pathway that starts to wind its way in. The door is immaculate, this like nicely carved marble, these walls going all the way up with this like striation pattern all the way to the front of it, all the way leading up to this crest above the door. This crest of a raven-like mask with a little wreath of feathers above it, signaling to Morserg especially the symbol of the Raven Queen. Kind of reactionary to seeing this, Morserg, could you give me a religion check?
My religion is so great.
As most clerics definitely are, yeah.
No, mine is not.
No, it's weird. Clerics are usually not good at religion. It's
I just feel like she's more into me than I'm into her. You know,
absolutely.
She kind of keeps stalking me. I'm just.
Everyone has their own relationship with the Raven Queen, and that's definitely valid. You don't know the significance of this place, but it definitely, kind of like taking it in, it stands out to you. Like, this is not every grave gets this. Something is significant about this, but you're not sure necessarily what.
Guys, I just want to point out that's not branding. You know, I know it looks like my face. It's not branding. I don't sell these. It's a bit above my pay grade, but I know that is the insignia of the Raven Queen. So this must be a special place. Well, besides the fact that there's so much marble, it's massive as shit. This is very peculiar.
Seeing the sheer scale of the mausoleum, could I do some sort of history check just to see if I recognize the family that this mausoleum should belong to?
I wanted to go there too, indeed.
Or the kind of like the history of it relating to the city. Just be like, something this big, it's got to be someone important in the history of the city.
Yeah, if anybody wants to, like, now that you're aware, like, hey, this is something special, anybody could make a religion check to see if they know why.
Could I do history instead of religion?
Sorry. Yes. I misspoke. I'm sorry. History. Absolutely.
I'm like, I have a +5 to religion, but if I can +15 to history, please.
Oh, Jesus.
Wizards.
I rolled a 16. For history.
It reminds me, people, they say they check the park, but not this part here, because obviously this door is wide open.
This is like not the park, right? This is like we went through the forest and now we're in like my nephew's graveyard.
Yeah, the park is like adjacent to the graveyard. This is not part of the park.
Oh.
But both of you, two of you rolled history checks. What were those?
26 from me.
16, wow. I believe.
Okay, Morserg, you see that you definitely remember when you came to this town, or whatever your upbringing here was, you, like, visiting different graveyards and stuff. This place has always been here. Everyone has spoke that it has been here for like 100, maybe more years. Everyone just says like, oh yeah, that's the mausoleum. Like, that's the mausoleum. Nobody says like, oh yeah, that's a family of some special person. You know it is ancient, you know it is important, but you can't remember why. But Ari, something about this triggers a history you were learning before of the history of Marksburg and its very close relationship not only with magic but with divine magic. This was the first city built in Dagrios. This was where civilization, once the dragons were met equally and taken care of respectfully, this is where civilization started to spread from. So this is sort of an ancient town as far as the country is concerned, even though it is incredibly modern now. This is one of the first graves. This is a grave of one of the champions that died during the Dragon Wars of the Raven Queen. This is a very important and a very sacred place. Even though it is not necessarily talked about now, everyone knows it's one of those places you don't mess with. You don't go in here and peruse. The door is heavy and sealed, and it is not locked because everyone just sort of knows not to go in there, just out of respect.
I think even with Ari's face being made of stone, his vision just kind of goes to one of, oh, fuck.
Don't make this face. Don't make this face. That's not good.
What face? What?
This is
that face.
This is a very, very sacred place. The dead champion of the Raven Queen from the wars of Draconic Liberation is buried here. This is not the place that you just fuck around in. Pardon my infernal, but you don't fuck around here.
There's a gold piece for the swear jar, but we'll talk about that later. That's
Okay, Mom.
I could be your mother. I could be your mother. No.
Well, then watch your language around the rest of us.
You
But
don't know.
Yeah.
Me. I could be your grandmother.
Anyway, but if these places have such
That took a weird turn.
Yeah,
this
very
place
holy space.
such importance, then I think more so you had a pretty good point earlier that if this is a basilisk we're dealing with, I doubt it had the intelligence or ability to enter this place all on its own, and this door has clearly been opened by something, so...
Are we going in?
You imply that this basilisk is basically someone is working with the basilisk?
I think something's enabled it. And as Callus says that she won't go in. She will root around on the ground for like some loose like stones, just anything sort of like weighty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put like a shush sign to everyone else and chuck them into the mausoleum to see if anything makes a reaction on the inside.
Do you grab like this like little gravel in your hand and you toss it in and it scatters across the ground, echoing within the mausoleum? There's silence.
Okay.
So, what are we going to do? Are we staying here, waiting that something comes out? Are we going in there, looking if there's something in? Or are we just going back to, and saying like, yeah, this is above our pay grade and someone else needs to take care of it?
I think it's worth seeing if anything inside has been tampered with.
Yes.
Alone. And if we find our little, stone-turning culprit, that will be a little bit of a bonus.
I mean, don't worry. If one of you turns to stone, I'll make you a good grave. But I agree we should be cautious.
I'm too young for that.
Okay. Feel yourself. And Callus will head inside.
I'd like to.
Wait, you can't leave us alone.
I follow. I immediately follow.
Yeah, I'd like to follow. I'd like to cast True Seeing on myself and close my eyes as I walk in, so I'm not looking through my eyes.
I just want to do it very, very, very stealthily.
That's
Yeah, I want to stealth as well.
I love the true saying there. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
awesome.
getting
Yeah.
petrified. Not today.
Not you, everyone else, but not you.
I mean, I have mirrors on my eyes. It will petrify itself.
There you go.
Don't know about that. So as you said, Callus is leading the way into here, right?
Yeah.
So as Callus enters, your footfalls echo within this chamber. It is quite large for understanding the importance of this place. It makes sense that there is like a 30 by 20 foot room within here that is just all nicely carved stone, elements of marble in this sarcophagus. Under normal circumstances, just this flat like marble top with this box raised out of the ground, almost seemingly carved out of one same piece as the ground is. It blends so well. But that's under normal circumstances. Now it is covered in dust. There are cobwebs everywhere. There is a trail through the dust leading to this sarcophagus that the marble top is thrown off of. The corner of it is crumbled in on itself, and the trail leads right in over and into the sarcophagus. And that is where we're going to take our second break and our final break for the night. We're going to take a quick 5 minutes again, gather ourselves, gather our thoughts, drink some water, and we will be right back.
Cat.
Welcome back, everybody. We come back as the adventuring party known as the Eyes of the Three have been investigating these strange statues appearing within the evergreen section of the town of Marksburg, tracking it back to an ancient mausoleum seemingly belonging to a champion of the Raven Queen, and entering to see the sarcophagus inside open and damaged, and this trail leading right into it. What is everyone doing?
I have my eyes closed, so I'm using True Seeing to exclusively be looking through the ethereal plane. So I think I'm just trying to scan whatever I can see, whatever I can gauge through the ethereal plane.
As you're sort of like opening that awareness to this sort of overlapping plane, you have these visions of like people like passing right in front of you, these faces like looking at you worried, some like behind you notice like judging very cautiously as you enter into this mausoleum, and as you like cross that threshold following the rest of your friends, this ethereal raven actually flies at you and towards your face, and then like at the last second brushes away. Inside this chamber, there is no people, there are no ethereal creatures, there is empty open space. This sort of square of land almost seems like even the ethereal plane gives it a wide berth.
And awesome. Looking in the direction of the sarcophagus, do I see anything of like, because I think I would still, I'm not too sure about how the ethereal looking through the ethereal plane works exactly, but am I able to like discern life forms? Like, am I able to see to tell where my teammates are and
Yeah,
like
yes.
their positions in the space?
Absolutely. It's almost like two images on top of each other.
Okay.
Like you can see the normal material plane around you, as well as like this overlapping, like kind of translucent filter that kind of ebbs and flows with energy around you.
Awesome.
It is within that filter that you were seeing these like other creatures kind of passing through.
Yeah, I guess with that, I'm just still staying closer to the walls of the mausoleum, just kind of looking just to see if I can notice any secret doors, if I can notice the presence of a being that I wouldn't be able to see if I was just looking, and anybody hidden. That's my kind of vibe, is I'm just using my true sight to get a feel, get a good kind of like perception of the room.
I mean, you can roll. You're more than welcome to roll a perception check if you wish.
I'll slay.
While he does that, can like there's just this that open, what was it called in English again?
Sarcophagus, or like
Sarcophagus.
yeah, it's like stone square, basically.
Yeah. And so, is there anything that goes inside of it, or is it basically just like there was someone laying in there and it's gone now?
There is this like trail in the dirt that, or in the layer of dust that you can see, like has moved back and forth multiple times to this square. And like if you were to go over to it. Are you approaching closely and like looking in?
Yeah. I want to look in, but like give the answer to the roll, please.
Yes. So what was your perception again?
My perception was only an 8.
An 8. Nothing. Like you would know that if somebody was invisible, or like there was somebody like in another plane, or like hiding here, it would be easy for you to see them this way. You feel pretty confident nobody's here other than who you're expecting.
Okay. I still keep my eyes closed, but I relay that information that I can't sense anybody hidden.
Right. And as Aquila approaches this marble slate, you sort of like peer in over. There is definitely you look in expecting to see like a flat surface with like a body inside, but instead you see this open hole. This like the entire size of the sarcophagus, as if there never was a floor to it.
Whatever went through here, it might have been gone in there, and it looks very deep.
What is your dark vision?
60 feet.
Yeah, you can see there's a slight decline of like rough stone past your vision.
It goes very deep.
Do I have hemp and rope in my backpack? Okay. Do we? Okay. Okay. So we're sussing out the area. Love the reconnaissance work, everyone. Do you want to try abseiling, like getting down there safely? It seems like it'd be pretty difficult, but if that's where these trails are leading to, then.
If we want to go as far as also go into the lair, I mean, we're going into this more and more and more. I mean, I don't mind. I'm all for a few adventures. I mean,
we can carry you if you don't want to walk.
If you even touch me, I will just throw you down that hole myself. because then I'm touching you, and that's different.
Um,
But fine, well, just go down. But I'm not going first, because let's not make the mistake every party makes. And oh, I'm a cleric. Let's go first. I'll go last.
does it look like there's any safe way down? Are there like any pot marks in the wall that you could like climb down, or is it just like a straight chute?
It is not necessarily a straight shoot. Like there's probably like a 5-foot gap straight down, to where like you could hop down and then it descends at a steep but manageable angle. Like you could cautiously kind of walk your way down. But if you worry like if you tripped, you might like tumble down.
Okay. For safety measures, shall I go first? Checking out that everything is safe for you.
Yeah, sure. And I just slowly push.
I appreciate that you're so forward with your opinion.
I love to share.
All right, so it's Quila like.
I'm going to stealth down there.
All right, give me that stealth check first.
Oh, definitely.
I can give you a hand.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
I'm gonna take psychic damage.
I wanted to. Yeah, I mean.
I already thought that.
I wanted to. I mean, guidance. If you need
Okay,
it.
that was +2. You said.
But
That's a high number.
I have a calculator with me. I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, wait, a D4 was it? Okay, that's a 33. That's nearly max.
Wonderful. Let me roll. Nope. Oh hey, I actually rolled a 1. So definitely not.
Yeah, cool.
Anything that's down there, like the bugs don't even notice you. Before as Aquila is like stealthily like climbing down into the hole and starting to descend down this pathway, how far back is everyone else staying? Like how much of a lead are you letting Aquila take, or is anyone else even going down yet?
Yeah, I'm following Aquila 10 feet back.
Okay.
I'll follow. I'll follow behind Callus. 10 feet back.
Like 10 feet. 10 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 feet behind. 10 feet behind Callus.
Okay, and is More Search following as well, or is More Search saying? Oh,
oh no, I'm just standing there looking down until somebody breaches something, and then I'll come down.
Wonderful.
Maybe
You fuck.
Don't worry, don't worry. I won't cut the rope. I will actually watch for people not to cut the rope. Or creatures.
Wonderful.
You can't see me smile, by the way, because I'm wearing a mask.
I looked at More Surge and I'm like, More Surge, do you want somebody to be there with you?
No, don't worry. More Surge can take on anything that comes up there. We'll be all down here looking for whatever it is that's down here.
All right. All right.
More Surge is big and brave.
I'm not alone.
Fair enough.
Yes, you in the back though.
Just turn around. I'm like, no. Children
Right.
these days.
As Aquila descends, I will say, Callus, go ahead and give me a stealth as well.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. I'm going to use the. Wait, was it advantage somebody gave me in chat?
Yes, it was advantage.
It was sweet. I'm using that here to cancel out my disadvantage on stuff.
Perfect.
Well,
That's a 6
Total?
total.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you are helped by almost losing track of Aquila in front of you being so stealthily. Descending down this pathway. It goes on for 20 feet more. 20 feet after that. 20 feet after that. You are at the point where it's starting to widen into this subterranean tunnel, becoming more and more rough stone as you go down. I would say you worry going further without more surge. You wonder, like, could you even call back to them? Because with your 60 feet of dark vision, it still goes further beyond this.
Mm-hmm. I'll look back to Ari and say, I know that we were like playing around before, but this is opening up a little bit and it's going to be difficult to go back if we're not all together. Could you call out for more surge?
I call up to Moore and I'm like, Moore, it's very long chasm. I think we might need you down here. Come on.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you pretty sure?
If we find any corpses, you can keep them. I won't tell.
So like, in my mind, I just have a little flashback to this morning being underground and stuck, and I don't want to, you know, be a caller, but I just have a bad feeling about going down somewhere right now. But I'm looking at. I reluctantly, slowly start going down, but first make sure the rope is like secured, like triple secured.
Yeah, so you have like a rope that's kind of like, it's not attached to anybody, but it's like there to help you climb back up if you need it, right? Sure.
Sorry, 1 second, my cat's eating something weird.
Uh-oh. Don't do that. Right, so as Aquila descends ahead, more search, reluctantly following behind. You are descending for like 10 minutes before it like widely opens up. You are hundreds of feet below what is normally the surface at this point. About 30 feet above you, you can see this rocky, cavernous stone above you, and you step out onto what feels like not necessarily paved road, but like nicely laid cobblestone. This sort of like as if you've stepped out of a building and onto like the streets, and at your 60-foot radius you see the walls like opening up around you and like blots of different stones just at the edge of your vision.
So is this like an underground tunnel, like a road that is like built into the ground? You know, this Dragon Age styled thing, underground
Like-
tunnel.
Like the deep roads, I think is what you're
Yeah,
talking
exactly.
about. Yeah. Like as you like step further into this, out of this precipice of this tunnel, you see like a collapsed like wall, like almost like a small home that's like collapsed under itself. You look to your right and you see like this pathway leading even deeper. This looks like some kind of subterranean city.
Okay.
And looking down, still keeping an eye out for these tracks, you notice it drift off to the left and like out of your vision.
Okay, I'm not running off to investigate this stuff. I'm waiting for the rest of the group.
Yeah, given time, everyone catches up to you easily. And you all...
Can I do history to see if I've ever read about anything or heard about a subterranean city?
Absolutely. Give me that history check.
Come on history. Right, so I still have a plus 15, but that's in that one.
Oh.
So 16, still not terrible. You know what? I said this in the I've said this many times, and I will keep my word to it. I said I would give you advantage if the Dobby was there, just like in the corner of the camera. I'll let you roll that one if you want.
You beautiful, beautiful boy, my son.
Just 'cause it's fun.
Come on. Come on, Dobby.
I'm a person of my word.
Lovely. That's a 19 plus 15.
So a lot.
I'll do the math.
Better.
That's a 34.
A 34. I will say this. You feel confident, very confident. You have never read or heard of an underground subterranean section of the city that is not the sewer system beneath it. In kind of like doing some math, you are beneath what would be that subterranean sewer system. But you do recall like almost like ghost stories of like children huddled around a cave, or not a cave, I'm sorry, of a well, saying like they heard whispers coming from it, like they heard footsteps from inside the well, like these things that like hint towards like something beneath the city. But it's, you know, anybody investigating this, like they just found the sewer system, and it's probably those stories. But it hurts your ear.
As we start walking, as we're walking through, I'm just rattling off these stories and these like very half-baked folklore myth type things, where I'm like, I don't know where we are, but this is extremely old and something that has only survived in stories.
As you're speaking, are you speaking quietly?
Speaking in such a way that like I'm not projecting my voice. I'm just speaking to the other people,
Right.
Not whispering, but also not projecting my voice. Just speaking at a normal tone.
Right.
By the way, I would like to use my ability Unearing Eye to see if there is any presence of illusions, shape-changing, in not the original form of a magic designed to deceive the senses in like 30 feet around us.
Yeah, if it's been less than an hour, I do also still have the true seeing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been like probably like 15 minutes at this point.
Look at us go.
Yeah, there is no illusion or shape changing or anything immediately around you. There is like down here, through that true seeing, as you're sort of traversing forward, there are hints of like figures like passing by in this ethereal plane. This is once again like not sacred consecrated ground. This is like there are like a spiritual presence here. Just like you see kind of like these like figures almost like amorphous, but you can tell giving you their attention as you walk by. Sort of just standing there, almost like lining the streets, just watching you.
Yeah, okay. I relay that also.
Curious and curiouser.
As you...
I wanted...
Oh, I'm sorry?
No, nothing. I'm talking to myself, I think.
So as you continue further, you hear this like rumbling, this shaking of the ground, this... At first you worry like there's an earthquake or something, like some loose stone from the ceiling falls down and ticks across the ground, echoing out into the caverns around you. And then you remember that everyone was preparing for a festival, and that these like shakes, like they're just maybe like explosions, like fireworks off in the distance, just like shaking the ground. But then you worry, like, that shouldn't be shaking this far down, before you hear something echoing more and more, footsteps getting louder and louder. I would say that Quila would probably pick up on this before anyone else with your passive perception.
Mm-hmm. There's something down here. We should be as quiet as possible.
Just to be sure, I want to cast False Life on myself.
All right. Everyone now kind of hears this like echoing, like footsteps of something large getting closer.
Do we know what direction from?
The direction you're heading, seemingly that small trail you were following.
I want to pull out my shield and put myself between whatever is making all of that noise and the rest of the party. Staying close to where we all are right now, sort of hunkering down. It's like, okay, this could be bad.
Right. As you all kind of prepare and anticipate for something, the footsteps grow louder and louder, echoing around you, bouncing off the walls of these desecrated buildings, before you see this face as large as your goblin companion emerge into the edge of your dark vision. These glowing blue eyes that almost seem to project light in this lightless place down here. Large, hulking limbs pushing forward into the edge of your vision. Larger than what any of you would know as a basilisk, but a form similar, and in your dark vision hard to discern any kind of colorations or deviations from the pictures you've seen or read about. But this is far bigger. This is something the size of the dire wolf. These large 8 hulking legs and this tail swinging around behind it, coming into your vision, and if anyone is looking at it, meeting their gaze.
Oh fuck.
Is anyone looking away?
Sorry, I muted myself. At the moment I already heard that coming, I would have just looked like the other way. No, we're not doing that.
Like facing towards it with eyes closed.
I would have stepped to the side, basically like vanishing into the shadows and like looking sideways to it, not directly into the eyes.
Oh yeah, I would also have stealthed in the corner.
Alrighty, and I know
Very much same.
Yeah,
I wanna hide.
Ari is, you're still using your like true sight, right? You're not like eyes open looking at this.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely feel this presence. And it enters the it's a dog. It enters your vision, and I would love for Aquila to roll me a stealth check. Anyone who is trying to hide as they feel this presence enter, to roll me a stealth check as well.
I rolled a 12.
Also, hello everyone. Thank you for the raid.
Oh my god, did we get a raid?
We got a raid.
Oh my god, thanks
No.
raiders!
No.
Only good raiders in history, hell yeah. That's a 16 stealth.
16 stealth.
I had a 12.
I'm an old guy.
Let me check if I get anything on hiding. Oh, doesn't look like it. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, 24.
Oh, yeah, just a 24. Barely passes. And I believe Callus is the only one
I'm not hiding.
standing.
Yeah, just
yes.
stood there, shield out, reaching for the hammer, and just sort of like, okay, if this thing looks at me, I'm gonna be stoned, so I'm gonna have my eyes closed, and just sort of like making myself a bit of a target.
Making yourself a target, standing your ground, feeling the presence of this thing getting closer and closer. It seems to acknowledge you, and you feel it stop. Just this guttural, deep noise you have never heard any creature make before. This just echoing in the caverns around you. I would love everyone to roll me an initiative.
Oh my gosh.
Oh lord.
Will this be the first good roll of the night?
Ooh,
That was actually
that's an 11.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So 11 for Ollie, and anyone else?
16 for Callus.
16 for Callus.
I have a 14.
14 for Surge. What was
I packed up the roll, but it turned out as a 22.
Wow.
And then basically the dice slipped out of my hand over it. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. I'm just
Casual 22.
I actually need to check my initiative modifier for what I wrote here.
Oh, modifier. Oh my god, like it's not powerful enough already.
All right.
It's just a little guy.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Alrighty. So, this large, hulking basilisk-like creature approaches all of you, and Aquila, you are hiding off to the side. You see Callus standing her ground, closing her eyes. You see this creature starting to start back in motion to take steps. What are you doing?
I'm not sure if I should cheer for like Callus standing bravely there encountering that thing, or like scream at her like, yeah, get out of the way from there. So
The bravery is the stupidity, a little bit of both. A little bit of both.
so, but then who I am to judge? So so how does this work if I'm sneak attack? Do I get advantage if I'm attacking out of like my hiding position?
I will say it is unaware of your presence, so you would have advantage on your attack.
Cool. Then I know that things petrifies. No, I don't know if this thing petrifies stuff, but I suspect this thing petrifies stuff. So I'm going to attack it. You?
Yes, you can. I will say You don't know if this thing petrifies or not. It is unaware of your presence, so if it is trying to currently do anything, it is not currently trying to do anything to you.
For me, it's basically just important if I get advantage on the attack roll or not.
Yes,
Or
you
if
do.
I have like, okay. Or is Callus in 5 feet? That's the other thing.
Hopefully.
It's like 15 feet away currently.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
like
Okay,
it's tough.
then I'm
It's like
then I'm
starting
taking the advantage if you're saying like, yeah, this is it.
Mhm.
Then I basically making it's like a run towards it and going for an attack. And I just see like, oh yeah, rogues even at level 14 just have like one attack. It's like, okay, cool. This is like, yeah, I'm attacking with 25.
Oh yeah, just barely.
Very, yeah, cool. I figured. So okay, now I need to roll like a shit of dice.
Yes, you
This is my
do get
favorite
sneak attack on this for
moment in a
sure.
while. Okay, 1d8 plus 76. 3, 4, 7. Like, listen to this sound.
It's a wonderful sound.
Love.
Okay, the rapier is shit. I need to change that one. So 6, 10, 15, 16, 18, 20, 25, and this is a 6, 31 points of damage.
Wonderful. You 30 what points of damage? Sorry.
31.
31, okay.
Yeah.
You come out from around a corner and like running up to this thing as it hasn't even noticed you yet. You reach your rapier up, like stabbing into its neck and pulling it away, this splattering of blood and this turning, now acknowledging your presence here.
Okay, then as a bonus action, I want to use my insightful fighting ability. This basically requires a deception check by this thing against my what is it? It should be my insight check.
Deception versus insight?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll have the creature roll deception. It's probably good at that. I'll use this nice little lovely red liquid core dice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
7.
Yeah, good. I'm just checking if I need that of that one ability, but even without, I'm at like 18. No, 17.
Yeah. So
Because I don't know if this works. Okay, yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah. It definitely does not do that.
Yeah. So I'm getting for 1 minute it has wait. It's target if you don't have yeah, for 1 minute I'm getting like advantage on attack rolls against it.
Perfect.
And that's my turn. I'm standing there like, hey.
Wonderful. Callus, you hear these last 2 footsteps because up until then Aquila's approach was silent. And this stabbing, this guttural sound, this reaction, standing in front of this creature. Oh,
I have I can use my sneak attack against it. I don't have advantage. Sorry, wrong wording. Long time since I played rogue.
yes. But, as you hear this, Callus, what are you doing?
Okay.
That's a very good question. I think hearing that, like, okay, combat has begun. Battle, like, mindset. How do we do this? Is it possible to open my eyes, like Callus operating under the mindset that like if I look at this thing directly in the eyes, it'll petrify me. Me not knowing if that's true or not. But it's possible for Callus to like open up her eyes and get a sense of like where this creature is without looking directly at it.
You can definitely avert your gaze from like the face of the creature, get your surroundings. You can engage and make attacks. They will be at disadvantage unless you try to look directly at it.
I will attack with disadvantage. I have to do that. So getting close, get within 5 feet, take out the warhammer, and swing. I'm going to roll these over D&D Beyond because it's much easier to do disadvantage dice rolls. So the first one is a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Sweet. I'll roll damage for that now. Love that. That's 17 points of bludgeoning damage for the first one.
Alrighty.
And then second swing, 26 to hit.
Oh yeah, just barely.
And that was going to be 15 points of bludgeoning damage. All of it is magical.
Nice. So, taking these two swings, you did take those at disadvantage, correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Taking these two swings, like averting your gaze, swinging and like clocking it right on the side of the face, 1-2 back and forth. It shakes its head, stumbles back a couple steps. It's still standing, but it looks very hurt.
And if possible, Akila, did you come out of the shadows to attack, or did you attack from the shadows?
No, I need to come out of the shadows. I don't have anything like ranged attack stuff. I have ranged attack stuff, but not this.
I'll flank around so that like we're next to each other, so that I can use any one of my protection things if this thing swings at you for whatever reason.
Perfect. So like skirting around to be like right next to Aquila. Perfect. So hearing these sounds of combat, seeing these things happen simultaneously, more surge, you see this creature come out, take 2 heavy hits from Callus after a sneak attack from Aquila. What are you doing?
Well, I hear the thing coming, but obviously I'm not gonna look right at it. Let me check one thing. So I think I'm just gonna I'm tiptoeing in the shadows and try. I mean, it's in range, so I'm just gonna throw Bane at it.
Alrighty, Bane.
Yes,
that's a saving throw.
Charisma
right?
saving throw. Yes.
Charisma.
I need a drop of blood, so I just bite my own tongue. Well, saying the spell.
Does a 14 beat that?
It's a long time since I did that. What was it again? My charisma, right?
It should be your spell save DC.
Spell save DC. 1 second. My brain just went off in 1 second.
Okay.
My save DC is 16.
Okay, so it is baned.
Yes.
And I do believe that means like any skill checks, attacks, things like that are at disadvantage, correct?
No, target must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the attack rolls or saving throws.
Bane, yes. Sorry, I
So
forgot.
less damage.
Perfect.
And well, it now probably knows where I am. So as my bonus action, I'm just gonna do my nimble escape and hide in the shadows again. You'll hear just this. And I'm gone.
Skirting away, this creature like acknowledges this magical presence affecting it, and it roars out, this surrounded in a way, and turning to the creature that last attacked it, Callus, it is going to come at you with a bite attack. Reaching down with this massive mouth that could almost swallow you whole. That's a very bad. I think Carl gifted me a cursed dice on purpose, so I'd roll poorly for this. That's a That's a 9.
Not quite.
No,
Close, but not
that's
quite.
no. It tries to it has this like massive spiked tail. After missing with its bite, it's gonna try to swing around and actually try to catch Aquila with it.
I'm going to use my protector fighting style to impose disadvantage on that roll.
That's probably a good thing. That's a 10. That was a 21. Now it's a 10. I'm assuming a 10 does not hit Aquila.
No.
Alrighty, so missing with both attacks, roaring at these creatures right in front of it that have beat the hell out of it, and it just can't seem to land hits on. Another roar echoing down the hallway to where Apollo is. What is Apollo doing? Or sorry, not Apollo, I'm so sorry. Allie.
I enter the game.
Apollo is there, suddenly.
Me, a human with no magic.
With the powerful cosplay move.
Punch it.
I square up to this nether being. No. How's it looking? Damn, like perception-wise, does it look fucked up?
It's definitely taken some hits. It is definitely bleeding. Its jaw looks a little dislocated. You are
Right,
unfamiliar with how badly that looks, but it doesn't look happy about it.
Now that am I familiar with what type of creature it is, at least, or am I still like I don't know what you are?
It's some form of basilisk-like creature, but not
Perfect.
not anything you've read about. This is like a larger kind of almost, the only way to describe it is like a mutated version of it.
Lovely. I'm gonna cast Hold Monster on it. So it has to do a Wisdom saving throw, and my DC is 18.
That's a 10.
Lovely. So it is now paralyzed.
Wonderful. So this creature mid-roar.
Yeah.
Just, like,
The
twitches
way
and-
it looks, it's again of that very much kind of like magic as understood through changes in the molecular kind of vibrations of energy in the world. Ari lifts up his staff, kind of like slams it down on the ground, and then just chains appear around the being, but the chains are as thin as a single string, and they just kind of appear around it and then just constrict it.
Wonderful. These almost ethereal chains, much like the vision you're seeing in front of you, clasp around and hold this creature tightly in place. If it had the ability to, it would roar out in retaliation to you. But as this creature is detained, this fight is ensuing. We're gonna pick up their next game mid-fight with this strange basilisk creature.
Oh,
Like, so cool to just restrain it like this.
yes.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, level
Hello,
14
Eric.
wizard.
It's the power of the elderly.
Yes.
Hey, respect your elders.
Oh,
This
I,
old man packs a punch.
I don't worry. I don't kink shame. It's fine.
Oh my god.
Oh,
There's
wow.
one thing. If there's one thing we have learned today, it is that nobody in Dagrios kink shames.
At least not in our group.
No, certainly not.
My man definitely does. He,
Wow.
every 2 minutes he just looks at more Surge like,
Just you wait.
No,
Just you
no
wait.
judgment here. No judgment here.
no judgment, all love.
Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody for a fun first half to this story.
Why so
Hopefully
fast?
everybody here and everybody in the audience is enjoying it. I certainly am. And I'm more than looking forward to next week to see where this goes and to hopefully come to a fun resolution. I ignore that the backdrop behind me almost just fell over. I want to say if everyone wants to go around once more and shout out whatever socials they have or anything they want to like shout out, any announcements they want to give, feel free to throw that out there.
Like I said at the beginning, my name is Apollo. I'm a Irish voice actor and cosplayer. I don't do much of either of those things right now because of college, but you know, I'm around. I post memes that I find funny every now and then. So yeah, you can find me anywhere at Tall Nerd Apollo.
Wonderful. Where might people find you at Yelmer?
Well, as I said in the beginning, almost nowhere because I'm one of those people who rarely posts any of his art anywhere, but I'm being forced by certain people also in the chat to maybe start doing stuff with that too. So most of my socials are all like Fab Flamingo, and one of them is Queen. Sometimes it's Q. It's everything with Flamingo, as you can see the wallpaper. It's all about branding, and I'm following the Raven Queen, so it's all about branding. There's a lot of birds.
Wonderful.
Birds. Basically that.
Kestrel, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, I've been Kestrel. You can find me under the name Hollow Compass on any social media platform, but I mostly use Twitter because I feel the least miserable there somehow. Am I allowed to swear? How much am I allowed to swear?
No, go for it.
Cool.
I mean, for me, it's fine.
The channel is 18 plus, so.
Sweet. This is going to make this next bit really easy for me. I'm the producer and editor for a podcast called Monster Fuckers Anonymous, where two of my hosts talk about how much they want to fuck monsters.
Oh my god, love it.
Have a next episode, like episode 22, I think, coming out this Saturday. And I need to finish editing that sometime tonight or tomorrow. I also edit for Blood of Mouth, and I've done a couple of other things here and there. So yeah, that's me.
Wonderful. Caro.
So yeah, I am Karu. You can normally find me here on Hot, but you can also find me on Twitter under the tag Blaine Unrivaled, and you can find me on Tumblr under just Blaine. So yeah, basically out there as announcements, maybe you know her or not, but Cage and I, we had like a little DM skill product like last year, I guess, where we worked together and created like a nice little supplement where we put together a bunch of really cool taverns, NPCs, and a lot of things to use for your D&D games, which is always helpful to have like stuff that you can dive into and take for your own games. And we just hit the silver medal finally. So very proud of that. And yeah, other than that, if you like what you saw today, if you like the group, if you like our channel in general, join us on our Discord to talk about the game, follow our Twitter. If you say like, hey, these people are super dope and I want to see more of them, next week we're streaming again. And also you can stay up to date with like giving us a follow on the channel, and if you like us, like we're a lot, like super much, like then you can just give us a subscription. Every little bit helps us keeping the channel like working.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget we are putting VODs on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. For the algorithm.
That is youtube.com/Horde of Tales. I will dab in Ida's absence. Yes, thank you. Ida has posted at the chat the Twitters of our four wonderful players here. I believe the socials, the Discords, and everything are below in the Twitch description down there for Horde of Tales itself.
And not forgetting you, Austin.
Yes, I have been Austin currently for now. You can find me at Star Crosser or Star X Rosser if you want to annoy me. And that's where I am. No, it's fine. Everyone's like Star X Rosser. It is what it is. I knew what I was getting into when I threw an X in my name where there shouldn't be one. But yes, Starcrosser, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Epic Games, I don't know, anywhere. Probably, except I don't think I have a Tumblr yet, but that's about it.
Make a Tumblr.
Maybe.
Make a Tumblr.
Like if Twitter really crashes, I might resort to me getting back into Tumblr. But hey,
Make a Tumblr just for the vibe.
Oh, also, this has been my accursed boy, my son.
yes, Charlie, wonderful. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else Horde of Tales wise to announce other than
No, next week we are back with this, like with the second part of this two-shot.
Yep.
Why is it a two-shot and not like a four-shot or a six-shot? You know.
Well, I believe that's because we're coming up on the holidays and we don't have scheduling wise to play games right around there. But
yeah, next week the second part of this game, and next week we're also having back Amelia and the crew for another part of the 12th game.
yes, and that is on the
Witches and Demons dating
Thursdays, right?
Witches. Yeah, Thursdays.
Thursday, yeah. So next,
yes,
not this coming Thursday, but the following Thursday.
Next week.
Perfect. Well, this has been lovely, and this has all been very.
And don't forget, Happy Nicholas Day.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, don't remind me.
But this has been.
Have you had nice things in your shoes?
No, only cat pee.
It happens. It happens to the best of us.
It's about perception.
I don't get anything in my shoes anymore, sadly.
No.
No, Santa Claus doesn't like me anymore.
But yes.
No, it's not Santa Claus. It's Nicholas.
Thank you.
There are two different people.
We're gonna step away now, go check our shoes, and hopefully there's more than cat pee in them. We wish you all good evening, good day, good time zone once again, and hope to see you back next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.